are a parent with young kids, you might recognize my next guest's voice. I certainly do. In fact, you probably hear it all the time in your house. She plays Bluey's mom, Chili, in the wildly popular Australian animated series Bluey. In the past 6 years, the show's become an international phenomenon, and just this year, it became the most watched show here in the US. That's real. You can catch it on Disney Plus. Take a look.
By yourself?
Yeah! All the way from Queensland, Australia. Bluey's mama and Bluey's hometown. Let's say hello to Melanie Zanetti. You have one of the most recognizable voices, but you get to enjoy that not everybody knows your face, right? So you have all this success, but you get to lead pretty normal life, right?
I kind of love the anonymity. Yeah. I've been in situations where I've seen whole families of people decked out in Bluey gear. Yeah. And I walk past them, I'm like, you've got no idea right now.
Yeah, and they would lose their mind.
They really, look, kids under the age of, say, 7, there's a cognitive dissonance, so, like, they really don't care. Parents go feral. Parents get really excited.
So wait, so for those of you, like for people that haven't seen it, you obviously play the mama, right?
I play the mum. The show is about Bluey, who's a 6-year-old blue heeler cattle dog, and she has a younger sister, Bingo, and it's about their adventures together. It's all centered around imaginative play. There's lessons learned along the way, but nothing's sort of like shoved down your throat or too didactic.
Yeah.
But it has layers, so adults and children can really enjoy it. There's definitely things that are more parent-geared, but Joe, the creator, has this incredible ability of finding really the essence of that time of life, and there's so much truth in it, so I think it really does resonate universally.
Yeah, the messaging is great. Yeah. I love that my kids get to watch, and they learn, like, while they love it. So yeah. It's beautiful. So your audience expands beyond kids and parents, right?
This is what I found, like, to be completely wild. You expect the parents and kids, but I've had a lot of, like, Gen Z 20-year-olds come and tell me that this is their comfort show, or they've had a tricky childhood and this show is reparenting them. I had one woman say to me, I see you as my real mum.
Oh,
it's just like,
that's real sad.
Oh my gosh, I know, it killed me. Yeah. But a lot of people watch it as their, like, anxiety show. That helps them, not makes them anxious, makes them
calms
less
them.
anxious, calms them. That's the one.
Why do you think, I mean, there's so many programs out there, like, why do you think this one resonates so well with everybody? Do you know, like, you have an inkling?
I think Joe Brum, who writes and creates and directs the animation and directs us, he's a bit of a genius in being able to, find, like, the core truth in all its, like, absurdity and hilariousness, but there's so much beauty in the show as well, and levels and layers. My favorite episode is Sleepy Time, and all of this unseen labor that parents do to make their kids feel safe and whole and protected at night, it goes through that. And it's funny and it's gorgeous, but there's so much heart. Yeah. And I think that's what is really at the core.
Yeah. I love that it doesn't speak down to kids.
Yes,
because I think some programs dumb everything down, and it's like, you don't need to dumb everything down. Why do that? Like, and I like that that show does not do that. For me, I think that that's really key. Even my kid came in last night, or it wasn't last night, it was the night before last, and literally how he worded it, he was like, I can't sleep, I have fear in me. And I was like, oh, wait, what? And I was like, and how he worded it, it was like, but I think because the things he does gravitate towards, it doesn't bring him down to some level. He can use big feelings, he has big words, he has things that he can tap into.
The show really respects the emotional and intellectual intelligence of kids.
Yeah. I think that's why it resonates so well.
I think so too.
What did parents bring up most to you?
Parents often bring up, mothers particularly bring up the episode in Baby Race when one of the dog mums says to my character, "You're doing a great job." I feel like even if we're not parents, we need to hear that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like you only hear that when you're growing up, like in school, like
Absolutely.
no one gets applauded, you know, generally perfect.
Also, there's an episode where my character says, I just need 20 minutes where no one talks to me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of mums have told me, parents have said, this has changed my life, being able to explain through this episode that I get overwhelmed as well.
Yeah.
And also tactical wee. There's an episode where they get Bingo, the youngest of the dogs, to pre-go to the bathroom before they go on a trip or go to bed. Parents have said, this has been life-changing.
Yeah.
I can explain the tactical wee situation.
I love having you here. Your voice is like so comforting, it's weird. So you grew up in Queensland with lots of siblings, so what was that like?
Yeah, look, it was amazing. Queensland is a really beautiful place to grow up. It's got gorgeous weather, it's really safe. We have incredible beaches in Queensland. We also have the Great Barrier Reef, which is one of the...
Love, I've been.
Really?
Yes.
One of, like, the great wonders of the world.
It's gorgeous.
Also, there's such distinct flora and fauna in Australia and in Queensland particularly that isn't anywhere else in the world. So it's really special.
Yeah, I love that. Well, there's big news in your hometown, right? So Bluey's World Experience opens soon, right?
Bluey's World, which is an interactive experience. So people who are fans of the show and would love to feel like they're inside the show and see the beauty of Queensland. It opens in Brisbane in November. And it's like a full tour. So there'll be like scenes from the show and beloved characters and games from the show that you can actually enter. So it's really exciting for the city and for anyone who loves Bluey.
Yeah, my kids are gonna freak out. All right. Well, Queensland and Bluey's World sound pretty rad. My kids and I are definitely going. Would anyone here be into checking that out? Anyone want to? But wait, has anybody like been to Australia? Have you already been to Australia? Have you've been to Australia? No, no? Like, okay, well, it seems like a lot of you haven't, so all right, here's what we're gonna do. Hit it, go ahead. All right. So, you'll notice, you're gonna notice that you all have a ticket, and that is because everyone in the audience is going to vacation in Queensland, Australia. It's a trip of a lifetime to Bluey's hometown of Brisbane and the Gold Coast. Okay, let me tell you the details. You're going to be flying in style with a pair of tickets to Brisbane, courtesy of Qantas. Qantas offers almost 50 flights a week to Australia, and the experience begins the moment you step on board. You're also going to get a 4-night stay in either Brisbane or the Gold Coast, exactly, with Accor Live Limitless. They offer everything from luxury hotels like Sofitel and Pullman to family-friendly stays at Novotel. Plus, this trip includes a pair of Brisbane Air Train tickets as well, and of course, 2 tickets to visit the Bluey's World immersive experience in Bluey's hometown of Brisbane. All right, everybody, enjoy your holiday down under in Bluey's home state in real life. Let's do some commercials while Andy and Bryce are just killing it over there. Let's get to some commercials. We'll be right back with What I'm Liking.